Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, Plus Sport. I'm Mudashiru Shitu and we'll be having a series of trending sport topic to talk about today. I won't be doing this alone. I will, in the right time, introduce my guest who is speaking all the way from Philippines, talking about Ayooluwa, Dada. It's good to have you, Ayooluwa.
Yes, sir. Good day, sir. It's good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, speaking with Ayooluwa will be about cubing as a sport. From Ayooluwa, we'll go to the fact that FIFA Women's World Cup was unveiled in Abuja, and we did a report on that. And before we round up the show with the highlights of the match day 11 between Bender Insurance and Aqua United that ended in a 1-all draw. So we'll go straight back to Ayooluwa, who will tell us what cubing it's all about. So, Ayooluwa, you seem to be one of the best when it comes to this sport. So tell us what cubing it's all about.
Cubing is speed cubing actually is like the art of solving the cube in as little time as you can. And yeah, we have competitions for this, and there are different events ranging from the smallest cube, which is the 2x2, to the 7x7 cube, and there are other events with different shapes which aren't necessarily cubes, but these are all puzzles, and we just see how fast we can solve them.
Okay, now beyond that, everybody wants, you've got a cube with you, I'm sure, because it still seems like an alien sport right here in Nigeria. How did you come across cubing? It seems there's still so much to talk about this sport, but how did you come across this sport?
I'm actually happy you asked, because every time I speak to someone about speed cubing, I always mention my teacher in Deeper Life High School when I was still in Nigeria. We're in the dining hall one day, and he was teaching like a group of people in a circle, and I just decided to go check out what they were learning. Then I saw it was he was teaching them how to solve a speed cube, Mr. Bamidele Fatoyinbo. So I decided to sit down with the circle and learn what they were doing. So after that, I went back to keep asking him questions about how to solve the cube until I finally learned it. And yeah, since that day, I've been pretty invested in the art.
Okay, and I'm sure right now that you are one of the best in Africa with your titles and record across the board. How many years from the moment you were in Deeper Life High School that you found about cubing still now? And what traits must a person have, or you think a person should have, to bring that connectivity between cubing and the person?
It's gonna be 8 years if it's not already, because I think it was early 2015 when I started cubing, and a cuber just has to be enthusiastic. He has to be a good problem solver, and yeah, he's just willing to learn more things, because there are different algorithms we use to solve the cube, and yeah, there are different ways which could for the 3x3 it could be layer by layer, or we have the rule method, which is solving two blocks at the right and left side. So like there are different things you need to be able to learn, and like you must be willing to learn and put time into it, because if you want to get faster, there are a lot of things you need to know.
Yeah, you are now in the video where we can see
Yes,
you
sir.
over there. Can you tell us what really happened in this particular video we are watching of you in a competition? And we can see your hand moving. You have a competitor by your side, also
Yes.
enabling, I think, E to get himself better. And at the end of the day, you won this particular competition between you and that person. Tell us what transpired on that day as we watch you break records.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to shout out the person beside me, which is Christian Nagio. He has been one of the most influential person in my speed cubing career. He has always checked up on me. He's actually faster than me. And in this video, I've been aiming for an African record for a while now, and he knows about it. So this isn't actually like a race between both of us. We just decided to start at the same time. And yeah, I, we will see later at the end of the solve that I was actually happy that I got my first African record. That was like the single for 6x6, which was just broken by like point some milliseconds. So that was like my first big accomplishment in speed cubing. So that's why we were both happy at that point. And like, I'm just happy for the Philippines Cuban community because I'm surrounded by people who actually want the best for me.
Okay, you said that the other young man very close to you is faster than you, but in that particular
Yes.
competition, you won him, and that made you have an African record. Tell us about that record and what that African record means, so that a lot of people will know that you are also a four-time African. You have African record, if I'm not mistaken. Tell us about this your records.
So in cubing, it's actually grouped at different levels. There's the national level, there's the continental level, and there's the world level, of course. So no matter where you compete, you're going to be representing your country. So any time you get or any records you have are going to be put under your own country. Now I'm African and he's Asian, but just because I compete in the Philippines, does my records don't go to the Philippines? They still go to Nigeria because I'm a Nigerian. So for that solve, I got a faster time than him, but it was an African record because that's the fastest time a 6x6 has been solved by someone from Africa.
Okay. And you at home some years ago, probably last year, to organize a competition that we are aware of. And you're also one of the facilitators of that competition. What's your objective for making such a competition and for inviting people to be part of it?
Um, Speed cubing is something I'm passionate about, and it just dawned on me that there's only been one competition in Nigeria because before I organized that one. So I was actually going to go to Nigeria for the Reading Convention. Then I thought about it that it would be nice if I organized one for people who shared like passion in Nigeria for cubing, to be able to be together and speed cube. So I contacted Mom Kemi, which is our delegate, and she was really open to answering my questions, to doing the things that needed to be done there because when I organized the competition, I was still in the Philippines. So she was the one who really handled everything in Nigeria, looked for the venue, and yeah, we just kept in touch, and I'm so happy that the competition was able to hold.
So how can we the gap between cubing and the Nigerian public? What do you think should be done, or what support or initiative do you think to be on ground so that this fast-growing sport can also perhaps be in the same level with other sports known in Nigeria?
I think it's just about public awareness. We need to find a way to get it to the public. Um, But like, cause in the Philippines, when we compete, we can in the video we're watching, we're in a mall, so people who are walking by can see like people speed solving and speed cubing, so it's easy for them to get hooked or to like go back home and tell to their kids about the sport. So I feel like in Nigeria we could get like competitions in malls, and we don't need to do the quiet events like blindfolded, which needs real focus and people to be like quiet around them. If we just have like the normal events, 2x2, 3x3, and the rest, it's something that could be done in like an open venue or like in the middle of a mall in an open space, and this would allow people around to be able to watch the speedcuber solved, and yeah, they could either go home and tell their kids about it, or if it's a kid that's watching, they could go home and tell his parents about it or their parents about it. So this is a way we can spread awareness about cubing in Nigeria.
Interesting, and we hope that government can actually support that. But there's this comparison between cubing and chess in the fact that it improves your IQ and your critical thinking and your sense of reasoning. A lot of people have believed that chess does that, and with this fast sport like cubing, report says that it does the same thing, in terms of your critical thinking and your sense of reasoning. How true is that in the practical sense of it, not in the theoretical sense like people say, but you being a champion and other participating in this, how real is the fact that you have an improved critical thinking and reasoning if you do speed cubing?
I mean, from years of speed cubing, I've just learned to use my brain better. I mean, for chess, it's like you're you're actually making your plans based on what other people are doing. And for speed cubing, I mean, you're just solving a cube that's shuffled, basically, really. And yeah, for speed cubing, you develop your hand-eye coordination. You tend to look at other things when you're solving one. That's the basic way to get faster. It's called the look ahead when you're actually speed solving. So yeah, this could actually improve it could improve your senses, your quickness, and thinking on your feet, basically. So those are things that have improved for me over my years of speed cubing. I just learned to be more analytical of situations.
Okay, yes, Ayola, we'll be back with you for in a minute. Let's go straight to other sport. Hold on, Ayola, while we let the world know that the FIFA Women's World Cup was unveiled in Abuja, and Nigeria have been part of the World Cup since inception. And it's also interesting to know that we are also going to be in this edition in 2023 when it starts 20th of July, and we hope that Nigeria can do better than what they've done in previous year. So in this report, it tells you how the World Cup was received, was unveiled. We have Onome Ebi, the captain in this video, also the Aisha Falode, and the president of Nigerian Football Federation. Don't go away. Enjoy this report, and so that you can fix your mind towards the next World Cup taking place in New Zealand.
In anticipation of the upcoming 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup tournament taking place in Australia and New Zealand, the FIFA Women's World Cup trophy made its stop in Abuja as part of the World Cup tour to the 32 countries that qualified for the 2023 Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. The trophy has been to 8 countries before arriving Nigeria and will still visit 23 more countries before touring the host nations. Ibrahim Gusau, who is the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, says Nigeria is glad to be part of the historic moment.
Nigeria is very excited to be among the 32 finalist countries for the FIFA Women's World Cup, the first to be co-hosted and the first ever for 32 teams. It is indeed it's a historic moment for us at the NFF and the Super Falcons, and indeed for all other teams that qualified. Let me congratulate FIFA President Gianni Infantino and the General Secretary, who have worked tirelessly to raise the bar for the visibility, the deliberate intervention they have made to improve the development of women football. The development fund that to the increase in the total force of the Women's World Cup and the capacity training offered to women's game are very encouraging. I have no doubt that Australia and New Zealand will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for the players, the fans that will be at all the venues, and the many more that will be watching from across the world.
The 2023 World Cup is the 9th edition, and the United States have hosted 2 out of the previous 8 editions and is the biggest winner with 4 titles. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have been to every edition of the women's tournament and have only made it twice to the round of 16. This year's edition will start on the 20th of July and end on the 20th of August. Nigeria is in Group B with Australia, Canada, and Ireland.
We pray that we can do better this year with the Super Falcons, and the coach Wardrum can do much better. We still have Ayola as we round up. Ayola, what is the future of this sport? Talking about keeping, how do you envisage the future of this sport?
I just see it getting better. I just see it growing larger. We know there are a lot of people who can solve this. and there will be more as long as they're willing to learn. It's not something that's really hard to learn. It's just something that requires you to be focused. And I know we'll still reach a lot of Nigerians with potential to speed cube, and those to be people that'll be faster than I am currently. And yeah, that's the future. That's what I see. I see it going to being on the main stage, and yeah, there's always improvements for speed cubing.
Now, before we round up with you, when are we expecting another tournament, if I may ask you, and who has supported you when it comes to cubing? Because I know perhaps you're still a student, and who have been your backbone in ensuring that your passion does not fall across by the way or drift away?
I will be having a competition on the 20th of April, but for Nigeria, I'm not sure. We're looking for people that could actually organize competitions there. So even if Speedcuber is watching this, I'm pleading with you to organize one for the community, and yeah, it will be fun. And for people that have been supporting me, my parents, my dad has always paid for my competitions. But for the passion, it's just something that has never faded since I started. So I don't really need any extra outside motivation. But I'd love to say the community in the Philippines have been motivating me. I also have like my South African friends who have been pushing me to do better, because they hold most of the records in Africa. So I've kept in touch with them, and yeah, it's this constant battle for the top spot, which is actually friendly. So yeah, those are the people that have been motivating me, but I've never lost my passion for speed cubing.
Lastly, before we let you have a good rest, most the person involved in cubing have a particular trait? Because most speed cuber I talk with are very learned set of people. That's to say that they're educated and the sense of reasoning is on the eye. Is that a criteria to be a speed cuber because of your level of IQ? Or is it just anybody can be part of it? Because I also know perhaps if you're a good mathematician or you're a science student or you have a very potential way of reasoning, is that what attracts you to cubing? Or with somebody not with someone with a low IQ, can a person really do this sport? Because it seems it's very calculative.
I believe everyone can speed cube as long as you're curious enough to want to learn, or enthusiastic or passionate. So like I said, people that were in the circle were just basically my classmates or anyone that actually wanted to learn. So I didn't join the circle thinking that yeah, I'm smart and I could learn this. I just sat down thinking like, how can this be solved? And anyone who has that curiosity and is ready to learn how to solve it can solve it. I don't think it really matters about the IQ level or things like that. Because when it comes to most major parts of speed cubing, it's just about learning algorithms or moves that help you solve the cube. And this is just about muscle memory, which everyone can develop. And yeah, it's just about you understanding how the pieces move, which isn't really hard if you spend time trying to understand the cube.
Yes, thank you very much. I know that it's 1 a.m. in Philippines right now? This is the middle of the night over there.
Yes, it's going to 1:50.
It's 1
a.m.
What's the time?
1:50 a.m.
Okay, we want to thank you for staying awake to talk to us here in Nigeria. We are based here in Lagos. Thank you for keeping vigil to ensure that you hook up with us and explain what cubing as a sport means. Thank you very much,
Thank you for having me.
Dada. Yes, that's Ayooluwa Dada, African champion when it comes to cubing, and one of the best pacer of this sport. We wrap up the show with the highlight of Bender Insurance versus Aqua United in match day 11, where the match ended in a 1-1 draw. Enjoy this, and that's where we call it a wrap for today's show. Thank you for watching. Same time tomorrow, we'll give you all what you need to know in the world of sport. I'm Mudashiru Shitu. Bye for now.